Okay, just wanted to make you guys another video. Had a few things up here on the board I was looking at. So my first disclaimer real quick, nothing I say is meant to treat, prevent, or cure any disease, okay? I've been researching this book and minerals in general for a while now. And so on this side of the board is something that was straight out of the book. I'll go over it with you real quick. So some 79 minerals have been detected in animal and human tissue. That is, blood, liver, muscle, and brain, etc. Thousands of animal studies on pregnant, suckling, weanling, and mature laboratory mice, rats, rabbits, dogs, cats, pigs, sheep, cattle, chickens, turkeys, ducks, etc. have documented additional support for the essentiality of at least 60 minerals. Okay? That is, they act as mineral cofactors for DNA, RNA, or enzyme systems, or vitamin utilization. Okay, so the reason I started looking at this, vitamin utilization, I've read in other sources that if you don't have certain minerals in your body's not going to process the vitamins that you do take in. So in that sense, minerals are more important than vitamins, and yet what you see most people taking nowadays are vitamins. Now, if you look at this, you're going to have people on one side that's going to say, well, these are laboratory animals, right? Well, my comment to that is that's true, but what do they use when they're doing tests on their pharmaceuticals? Laboratory animals, okay? So there is a connection between animals and people. Otherwise, they wouldn't use animals to try out these pharmaceuticals on to see how well they work. On this side of the board over here, this is my own research, and so this has nothing to do with the book. So first thing that I want you to do is just Google why we need minerals. What you're going to find, first thing on Google, it's going to say, important for building strong bones and teeth, blood, skin, hair, nerve function, muscle, and metabolic processes, right? Metabolic processes, if you keep on reading that on Google, it'll kind of define what that is. I knew what it was, so I didn't use up any more space on the board. The next thing I want you to Google is why we need salt. I wanted to keep it simple on the very first mineral because I had a client of mine, he said that his medical practitioner recommended he was on a low sodium diet. And so when I asked about why, they said fluid retention. So I jumped over on Google because that doesn't really sound right, you know. Never heard anything about salt that was bad. And so on Google, if you put why we need salt, it's going to say not only does salt control your fluid balance, so if you just took that one sentence right there, you could see how that could get distorted, and somebody might recommend a low sodium diet based on fluid balance, okay? But if you keep on reading on Google, it keeps going and it says, it also controls the way your muscles and nerves work. Our bodies automatically regulate how much salt or sodium there is present. So to me, when I hear that the body automatically regulates, that means you can't have too much, you know. If you have too much in your body's going to flush it out. You'll use the bathroom. I mean, you can look up these colon cleanses that are salt or even sugar crystals that they use for these detoxes. And so the next thing I wanted to point out was if your muscles and nerves need it, if you don't have enough for your body to automatically regulate, then you might not have enough to be helping your muscles or your nerves either. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Got all these different conditions coming out. You know, you've got fibromyalgia, all of these things that have to do with pain and the nerves, and they don't know what's going on. And they're starting to link all of this now into Alzheimer's and things like that. But I just wanted to point this out on the board because I had one question. If your body self-regulates salt and your muscles need it, and not to mention the stomach needing it for the production of stomach acid, sodium chloride, why are we being told to reduce sodium intake? So my two theories on that, I'm going to go on one side of the fence and then stay over on the other side of the fence. So if I hated the medical industry, or if I had huge issues with them, and I'm not saying that this isn't what's happening, but I would automatically think that certain things could play a role in it, because stomach acid is what's deficient when you have acid reflux. So your body will overproduce acid. That happened with me. They told me I was going to have to be on Prilosec for the rest of my life because of my esophagus and all of this stuff. I've had my esophagus scoped 3 times now. And so they told me I would always have to be on Prilosec. Well, I'm not on Prilosec anymore. I regulated my body, now I don't have reflux anymore. So Prilosec could be one thing, because if you're deficient in salt and that's what causes lack of stomach acid, then they can recommend that, knowing the outcome, which is a pharmaceutical that they can prescribe to you. I don't know how much money they make off of prescribing pharmaceuticals, but I know it's something, okay? The other side of it is, and the other theory, maybe because our diet is so high in sodium already because of the processed food and pastas and all this stuff, maybe that's why they recommend it. Maybe our body has a hard time with processed food. Maybe they know a little bit more about the food industry than we do. Who knows? But in that sense, they could be saying lower your sodium because it's not really needed if it's all in the garbage food and our body can't regulate that. So those are the two theories that I wanted to put up there. But my opinion is salt's good for you. It's necessary for life, and so I take it, and I don't really worry about how much I take of it. Hope this video was helpful. Have a good Labor Day.